Welcome to the booth with Tailor and Brandon. What's going on, Taylor?
What's going on, Brandon? How you doing? How you doing?
Man.
I think we got a good show lined up for everybody today.
Yes, sir. Special guest, defensive tackle Dominique Davis, made his first career start against the Browns last week. We'll have him later on in the show in about 30 minutes. So if you're waiting for that, make sure you stay and wait for that. All right, guys, because it's going to be a good one. But first, like always, we talk about college, and the college football playoff rankings just came out. We've got Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia, and Clemson, with Ohio State and was someone tied? No, that was in the AP poll.
Yeah, AP poll.
So Tennessee versus Clemson, Ohio State versus UGA. And then we got, for our In the Hunt, we have Michigan, Alabama, TCU, and get that image up there, and Oregon. And, dude, be honest, Clemson should not be there at 4.
Oh, 100%. Clemson, look, I don't know who was in that room when they were deciding who was going to be in the top 4, but whoever voted Clemson, I think, should be removed from the panel immediately. I think Michigan, being 8-0, should 100% be above Clemson. I don't understand the likeness of Clemson this year. I think they've been very sketchy. They've underperformed the entire year, and to put them at number 4 in the college playoff rankings just doesn't seem right to me. Especially, I would take Alabama with a 1 loss over Clemson any day of the week.
Yeah, I would agree. I would honestly even take TCU over Clemson. And why I say that is because so Oklahoma's ranked teams this week, or TCU's ranked teams this year that they've beaten is 18 Oklahoma, which I know Oklahoma's kind of fallen off, but they beat them 55-24. They beat number 19 Kansas 38-31, number 8 Oklahoma State 43-40, number 17 Kansas State 38-28. The remaining schedule they have, they've got Texas Tech coming up. Should be a pretty easy game for TCU. But they have 24 Texas. They have a Baylor team and an Iowa State team. But the Baylor team is still a pretty solid team, sitting there at 6-2. And then Max Duggan is just going off. You compare that to Clemson, who has the 49th total offense and 19th ranked defense. And they only average 19 points per game. They've only beaten Wake Forest, NC State, Syracuse. And to be honest, those teams, even though they were ranked, those are the ranked teams, they aren't solid teams. They don't play any more ranked opponents the remaining of the season, unlike TCU. The ACC is not as talented as the Big 12. I just don't see it in Clemson. DJ's playing well this year. He's got 1,800 yards, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a 69 QBR. But do you? I just don't see strength of schedule. Obviously, you can bring up Michigan, like you said. You put Michigan up there, and I agree. Michigan would probably be my 4. However, they haven't really played anybody yet either. But just going off Blake Corum and JJ over there, I think that would be a solid 4. Where would you put Clemson? Let's play a little thing. Would you put Clemson over Oregon? I can't hear you. You have no audio. Just heads up.
I do believe that Oregon would beat Clemson 100%, so I would put Oregon above Clemson.
Yeah, okay. I would agree. Oregon's got the 5th total offense this year. They've played harder opponents. We already said Michigan and Alabama. Alabama plays a tough team in LSU this week. And then they got Ole Miss coming up. But I think looking at Clemson, them not having those ranked opponents and that strength of schedule, I just think, like, who's in the ACC? NC State's ranked. I'm not afraid of NC State.
I think they dropped to. I think they've lost a few games, and then you also have UNC. I know UNC's starting to move up now.
Yeah.
But I think they're ranked number 17. I don't know what their schedules really look like, but I know last week I don't think they played anybody too tough. So I can't really say there's anybody in the ACC. You know, Clemson. When you think of the ACC, you think of Clemson, and Clemson is dodgy at best. I mean, they barely edged out a win against Syracuse, and then Syracuse just lost this past week. So Syracuse clearly wasn't a top 15 team, They lost back-to-back games, and Clemson barely beat them. So, I mean, with that said, I really cannot understand why Clemson would be edged in there in the 4 spot.
Yeah, and I agree, and I'm a firm believer in TCU now. I know earlier in the year, me and you were both like, no, we're not firm believers in TCU, and we took Kansas over TCU, and we were both
Yeah.
completely wrong. But since that episode of us trashing TCU, TCU has moved up to third in total offense this year, only behind Tennessee and I believe Alabama. But with Clemson, I just don't see it. They benched their starting quarterback in a big time game. We've seen that before in Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa, but in a national championship game. But this early on in the season, I know they trust DJ. I think DJ's a decent quarterback, but I don't think that he has the talent to put them over the edge of this Ohio State teams, Tennessee teams, and Georgia.
No, I agree. And to be a top 4 team, you have to know who your quarterback is going in at this stage, like this late. This was 2 weeks ago. They were trying to figure out who's the starting quarterback. We're going to bench him, then we're going to start our backup. That's something you do at the beginning of the season. I know a lot of people said that about Michigan at the beginning of the season, but they figured it out early on, and they've been rolling ever since. This late into the season, if you still have doubts and questions about your quarterback and his capabilities, you don't belong in the top 4. And that's how I think they should have accounted for that. Their weak schedule, barely edging out each game that they played. I would have put them at 6 best.
Yeah, I honestly put Clemson. If I had to rank them, I'd put Tennessee, Ohio State, then Georgia, then Michigan at 4, TCU at 5, Bama at 6, Oregon at 7, and then Clemson at 8. I know a lot of Clemson fans are not going to like that, but
yeah, we're going to catch some heat on this one.
We're going to catch some heat, but what we can take it. I just don't see that Clemson team of old with Trevor Lawrence, Amari Rogers, Travis Etienne, and I just don't see that kind of holy crap, it's Clemson kind of team coming out. And it's the ACC. UNC's got Drake May. UNC's playing pretty good. NC State's been average at best this year. Wake Forest has been average. Are you going to say Miami? No.
No.
It's just, it's just Clemson really in that ACC, and UNC is making a push. They're still undefeated themselves, but they don't. UNC doesn't even have the talent to compete with Clemson at the moment and with other big-time programs. So just going off strength of schedule, I just don't see Clemson at 4 personally.
No, agreed. And I know people will come for us and say, oh, but, they're undefeated and they're the top of the ACC. But, again, the ACC is weak. The teams you beat are low teams, who have, ever since you beat them, have proven to not be top 15 teams. So, all in all, I think by the end of all this, Clemson's not going to be in the top 4. I think they lose out to possibly Notre Dame this upcoming weekend. And then hopefully that drops them. Not hopefully, but, for my personal preference, I hope they get dropped out of the top 4 because they definitely do not deserve to be there. Yeah,
I'm not a big Notre Dame fan, but I do think that Notre Dame could potentially pull off the win. But even if Clemson wins, it's not a big-time win like we're expecting. Just because, Notre Dame's unranked. They're a solid team. They're not a great team. So it just adds more fuel to the fire that Clemson's beating decent teams at best. I just don't see it. Again, you compare them to Alabama, who's got LSU number 10 ranked right now, and then they got number 11 Ole Miss coming up, and then you got Michigan, who's playing Utah ranked number 14, 23 Oregon State, and a 6-2 Washington team with Michael Penix Jr., who's balling out this year. Those strength of schedules, I would favor them and TCU's strength of schedule and talent over Clemson at this point in time. But I think the top 3 are correct. Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
Just talking about Ohio State, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., who is a potential Heisman winner. I don't think he's the favorite, but he's balling out this year. You've got Tennessee, who's got Hendon Hooker, who is the Heisman favorite. And then you got Georgia, of course. Stetson Bennett, I don't know if you saw this, went out to eat. This is kind of a side note. I'll get your thoughts on it. Went out to eat, spent $200 and tipped $10. Apparently, the waiter said he was throwing a fit just because he had to pay, and it was like, you know who I am. I won the national championship. Why do I have to pay? Kind of stuff. So if he's already got that ego, just imagine.
Man, so I'm a firm believer of tipping big whenever you go out somewhere to eat, especially if you're going to frequent that place multiple times. I think if you leave a nice tip, it's going to ensure that if you're a regular, you get a slightly higher level of service than a person who's only been there once. And plus, a lot of these servers are trying to make their way through college, or they're trying to, save up for something.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to give you a free meal just because you're the quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs and you won a national championship. Okay. You should, already be getting food with your scholarship. I'm pretty sure they have like the cafeteria stuff. So go there and eat. You don't need to go out and drop $200 and then only tip $10 just because somebody didn't know who you were or didn't recognize who you were and give you a free meal.
They knew who he was, but it's that status. Like, Stetson Bennett, listen, this is kind of going off on a side note, but Stetson Bennett's going to be selling while Anthony Richardson and Will Levis and all these guys are going off to the NFL. Stetson Bennett's going to have 20 car dealerships in Athens, Georgia, and he's going to go, I can get you a premium deal on that new Kia Soul. Come on over to Honda, to Stetson Bennett Honda of Athens, Georgia. So I don't know who. I mean, I understand you won national championship, Stetson, but at the end of the day, it's your team that's kind of uplifting you. We saw you against Georgia or Florida, a Florida team that had some fight, but Florida team where you threw a pick and struggled heavily in the passing game, and that's what makes me think that Georgia, even though they've been playing well this year, I don't think they're the favorites to win the national championship. They have a solid. They have a great defense. They have great tight ends in Darnell Washington and Brock Bowers. But can Stetson Bennett somehow pull it off again against a Hendon Hooker or a C.J. Stroud-led team? I just don't see it.
So I think Bennett's going to shine against Tennessee. Tennessee does not have one of the best defenses out there. They have a stellar offense. I would argue they probably have the best offense outside of Ohio State. And I just don't think that their defense is really there. So I think Stenson's going to show up this week and play some really good football against Tennessee. But I do agree that it's the surrounding pieces that have made Stetson Bennett who he is, and that's the reason why they won the national championship. I don't believe that anybody who wins a national championship deserves a free meal when they go out to eat. It's just, absurd and asinine to me. I don't think anybody should just be given a free meal because they have a status about them, if they're a celebrity or they're somebody who's huge in football or something like that. I just don't think that warrants you a free meal. If I have to go out and pay for my meal, everybody else should as well. That's my opinion. I think it's a little weird that he would do that. He never really came off as that type of person to do that, but it's extremely interesting to see what fame does to people.
Yeah. And someone from the comment section said Stetson Bennett's the GOAT. Oh man, we will see.
Okay. Is that Stetson in there?
Yeah. Is this a burner account? So no, we're gonna lead with that. Go right into our next topic of the Tennessee-Georgia game. This is a heavy hitter, number 1 versus number 3 team in the country. Georgia has the 6th ranked offense and the 2nd ranked defense in the nation. Of course, number 1 offense is Tennessee, led by Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt, the wide receiver. Give me your thoughts and opinion on this game, and then I'll chime in with mine.
I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I'm saying like each team's going to be putting up like 50 points. I think it's going to be similar to the Tennessee-Alabama game. I do think that Tennessee's going to edge out on this one. The biggest key to them winning this game is holding firm on defense. We've seen them put up or let other teams put up a lot of points on them throughout the season, probably when they shouldn't have. So I think it's going to really lay heavy on the defense to step up this game. I think Hooker's going to go off also. I don't think that he's going to have a terrible game. And I think with the struggles that Georgia had against Florida, now I'm not saying they struggled, but it was Florida, and at some point in the game it was fairly close considering Florida's not
28-20. So
yeah, so it was a close game, and I think if Florida was able to do that, I can only imagine what Tennessee is going to be able to do this week.
Now, we'll say I think that Georgia got a couple calls against that Florida team to help kind of put them over the edge.
Absolutely.
No bias or anything, but they 100% got some calls their way, and I was like, what? But yeah, no, I think Tennessee edges out Georgia. I think that while Tennessee's defense is not as good as Georgia's defense, I think Jalen Hyatt having 907 yards, 14 TDs, and averaging 20 yards a catch. They also have Brew McCoy's averaging 15 yards a catch, and Hendon Hooker in that team. I think that high-flying offense is just going to be too much for the Georgia defenders, especially their DBs and safeties, to hold on to. I don't think Tennessee's running game is great, but I think Hendon Hooker is great. And if I'm an NFL team, even though he's 25, I'm 100% buying in on the Hendon Hooker stock right there, especially over Stetson Bennett. And if you ask me who I'm trusting to win a big-time game, even though we've seen Stetson win a big-time game before, he did have Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Trayvon Walker, and company that are all obviously now in the NFL. I'm going Hendon Hooker every step of the way, just comparing the quarterbacks. I
agree, 100%. I mean, if I'm taking one of those two quarterbacks, I'm taking Hooker all day.
Yeah, you would. I mean, you need to call your wife over here saying you take a
I'll be getting a call here in a minute.
Sorry, Ashley. Yeah, so
it's not what it sounds like.
I'm going Tennessee that game. Who you got?
I'm taking Tennessee.
You're taking Tennessee. So
it's going to be a close one, though.
Yeah, so we both got Tennessee. The Booth Nation, let us know who you guys got. Again, that game is tomorrow. It's going to be a good game between the Bulldogs and the Volunteers. We shall see who remains on top. And I think that even if Tennessee loses, they should remain top 4. I think they're still a better team than Clemson, regardless of the loss. Yep. So before anyone starts going, oh, Tennessee loses, then they should just drop out of the top 4 and out of the playoffs in general. No, stop it. Stop doing drugs. Put down the drugs, kids. So Tennessee and Georgia are going to be duking it out. Michigan and Michigan State duked it out on the way to the locker room. And that was a big-time fight. It was 10 players trying to fight Michigan DB Jaden McBurrows. And Mr. T said, Bulldogs in the chat. Go Volunteers. I'm a Gator fan, but I got to root against the Dogs every day of the week. Michigan State defensive end Jacoby Windman, Brandon Wright, cornerbacks Justin White, Malcolm Jones, Tank Brown, safety Angelo Gross, Zion Young, and Kerry Crump were all suspended from the Michigan State team for that brawl. Another video had surfaced for that fight with Crump swinging his helmet on Jamon Green. And then, again, in the new video, give me your thoughts and opinions on that brawl, and should Dana White pay-per-view it?
I thought it was ridiculous. I mean, it's a football game. We've seen it time and time again throughout this entire season that players just take these losses way too far and take it to the extreme. We've seen it with NFL players, with Devontae Adams pushing down a photographer as he was leaving after him and Renfro collided on the field, pretty much cost him the game. Players need to take time and realize it's just football. You know, it runs deep with a lot of these players and fans. I understand that. But at the end of the day, it's just football. Yeah. You know, don't take the rivalry between teams and make it personal, because they're kids just like you trying to make a name for themselves. And now these players that went out there and beat up on this kid, their future in the NFL could have been just cut short.
Yeah.
just for these actions right there. And who knows if they're going to have any criminal charges pressed against them, because that's going to weigh them even
Harborough
more.
said he hopes that charges are pressed.
Yeah, I saw that the University of Michigan police, they're still investigating this. So it's, as of right now, it's unknown if there's going to be any criminal charges, if anybody's going to get arrested or anything like that. I hope not, because I know that's going to derail a lot of promising careers. I just hope that these players learned from this incident and they better themselves as people and players, and set a higher standard for the young kids that are out there watching football and looking up to them as role models and mentors and stuff like that. Because that's detrimental to somebody that's watching and they're like, oh, that's my favorite team. And then they see their favorite team beating up 8-on-1 in a hallway. They're either going to be like, man, that sucks. I was rooting for them and now I can't. Or, now they see it and they're like, yeah, they're going to see it and they're going to be like, oh, if they can do it, I can go do it in high school or middle school or whatever. So hopefully the appropriate actions are taken. Hopefully this doesn't happen again. Hopefully they figure out a new system for these games, because I think they share a tunnel after the game and stuff. Hopefully they figure out.
Already an issue. You got a team that just whooped up on your team, and now you're upset, and you don't want to see the other team. You don't want to see someone happy when you just lost. So you're going through the tunnel, and then one of their players sneaks in to kind of get ahead to the locker room first, and then it just kind of like, oh, all right, well, we lost on the field. Let's take it into the tunnel here. Now, I like Mel Tucker as a coach. I think that Michigan State's struggling this year heavily. I don't think it's necessarily because of Mel Tucker, and he's doing the right thing by trying to find out who was involved in the fight and kicking them off the team. But do you think that Mel Tucker has lost the locker room up there in Michigan State? Last year they were contenders, potential college football playoff a team, and now they're kind of sitting at rock bottom. And when things get rocky, people start swinging. Do you think Mel Tucker has lost that locker room?
I would say no, because this seems like an isolated incident. I haven't heard much coming out of Michigan State this season. I think this was just a heated rivalry game. They lost, and then a Michigan player was trying to push his way through to his locker room prematurely, because I think it goes it was supposed to be Michigan State goes, and then once all their players and staff are through, then Michigan comes through and goes to their locker room. And I think he was like, screw that. I'm going back. I need to get in the shower. I'm ready to go, whatever. And he was just trying to make his way through, angered some Michigan State players, and then that ensued. I think it's just an isolated incident. I don't really think it's a locker room in shambles type of situation. I think it was just isolated. I think next season they might be back, with some more recruiting, more time with these players, because they were a decent team last season, and then this year just kind of crumbled. But one bad season should not dictate a coach losing control of the locker room.
Yeah, I agree.
Unlike at Texas A&M, I think that one's just in
Jimbo
shambles.
Fisher's had a couple of seasons, but I think Mel Tucker's a great coach. He's a great leader of men. We saw that with the incident of the recruit that passed away that was planning on attending Michigan State. They honored him. With that being said, like I said, I think that fight was, like you said, the fight was an isolated incident, and I don't see much of it going on. Hopefully, all issues get resolved. If charges are pressed, hopefully it's done swiftly. However, I like to remind people these are young, dumb kids. A lot of these guys are freshmen. They're 18 years old, fresh out of high school. They're maybe coming from a background where, fighting is what you do. When you get upset and someone's talking crap, you hand it on the playground, you hand it on the blacktop. So just remind you guys, these are kids, and I don't want to see their lives necessarily get ruined. Should they be cut off the team? Yes, 100%. But throwing them in jail for any misdemeanor or for felony charges, I don't know if I would do that. But
yeah, I agree.
Going into that, let's go into our game. Predictions. Young mistakes have real consequences. I do agree, mister. But we all have done stupid stuff when we're super young, and no one was seriously injured. And so that's why I say, no one was sitting there with a broken arm or whatnot. No, they've got caught the team. They've learned their lesson. They understand that they will no longer be playing college football, so they better hit the books, because college is the only thing they got left. Football career is pretty much over.
Agreed.
So we'll start out with our game predictions. Before we go into the NFL segment, like we always do, we do the top 25 guys. If you're new to the channel, so Taylor, let's start off with Oregon State versus Washington, both 6-2.
I'm gonna go with Washington just for my grandmother. She's a Washington fan, so I'm gonna go Washington.
Grandma Roberts, if you're watching.
Yeah, that's all I got for it.
All right. I'm going to go Oregon State, but I think Washington could pull it off. Two solid teams. Michael Penix Jr. is a great quarterback for Washington, but I'm going to go Oregon State. We got Ohio State versus Northwestern.
Ohio State.
All right.
Ohio State.
I'm going to go Northwestern upset. I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. Ohio State by a landslide. TCU versus Texas Tech.
I got TCU. I'm not going to fall into that trap of going against them anymore. I'm going TCU.
All right, I'm going TCU as well. That offense is electric. We have North Carolina versus Virginia.
UNC, without a doubt.
Okay, agree there. We got number 19, Tulane versus Tulsa.
I think Tulane only has one loss, so I'm going Tulane. They've shown up this year. I know we had some. We were following their recruits this past off season, and it was fun. And being able to see them actually go out there and make the top 25 is fun. So I'm going Tulane.
Yeah, Tulane's first time in program history being ranked ever. They're sitting there at 7-1. I'm going to go Tulane as well. Very solid program they got down there in Louisiana. We got a big one we've already called, Tennessee and Georgia. I think we both went Tennessee.
Yep.
So we'll move on to Oregon versus Colorado.
Oregon versus Colorado. Oregon.
Yeah, I'm going Oregon as well. Then we have 15 Penn State versus Indiana Hoosiers.
I've got Penn State. They looked really solid against Ohio State. I know they lost the game, but they did look really good. Their defense was promising, so I'm going to go Penn State on that one.
All right. I think I'm going to put Penn State on upset alert here.
Ooh.
Penn State, who's your daddy? It's going to be Indiana this week, so I'm going to go with Indiana.
All right. Interesting call there.
Yeah. Just to throw a wrench, I don't want to keep agreeing on everything. Yeah. So Michigan State versus Illinois.
I'm going to go with Illinois.
All right, I'm going to go with Illinois as well.
I've got a wrench I'm going to throw in here soon, though. Don't worry.
Gotcha. I'm going to go with Illinois as well. Michigan State's, they got some fight in them, but I think Illinois is just a little bit better at fighting. We got Oklahoma State versus Kansas.
I have Kansas beating Oklahoma State.
All right. Ooh, that's the wrench.
Back-to-back losses with Oklahoma State. Kansas has not been a terrible team this year. I think that Kansas might be able to pull that one off.
Okay, I agree. I don't actually agree. I'm going to go Oklahoma State, although I loved Kansas's reign for the short time it was. I think they're still having a good season for being Kansas. Then we got Syracuse versus Pitt.
I'm going to go with Pitt. That's my other wrench.
All right. I'm going to go Syracuse there. They have a great defense. UCF versus Memphis.
I'm going to go UCF.
All right. I'm going UCF as well. We have Alabama versus LSU.
That's going to be a good game. LSU has been stepping it up. I know I talked a lot of trash about them at the beginning of the season because it was warranted. It's going to be a close one, but I have Alabama.
All right. I'm going to go Bama as well. I have more hate for LSU in my heart than Alabama, so that's just solely the reason why I'm going Alabama. We have Texas versus Kansas State.
I'm going to go Texas. That's my next wrench.
All right. I'm going to go Kansas. I'll go Kansas State just to split there. Then we got Clemson versus Notre Dame.
Clemson.
All right. I'm going to go Notre Dame because I want Clemson out of the playoff race. I don't think
I do too.
They are
I think Notre Dame's the worst team, though. They are up and down all around. Yeah. I can't figure Notre Dame out.
All right. And then we have Michigan versus Rutgers.
Michigan.
Michigan, yep. Utah versus Arizona.
Utah.
All right, I'm going Utah as well. We have Wake Forest versus NC State, 21-22.
I'm going to go NC State on that one.
All right, I agree. Oh, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go NC State. I think NC State's defense is actually pretty good this year. We have USC Trojans versus California.
I'm going to go USC.
Okay, I'm gonna go USC as well, and then we have UCLA versus the Arizona State Sun Devils.
I've got UCLA. They're balling out, man.
Yeah, I agree. UCLA. Taylor, go ahead and shoot Dominique the link. I'm gonna hit him up on Twitter.
All right, it is sent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody that is watching, we're going to be moving on to the NFL segment here, and we're going to be bringing on our special guest. So everybody just stick around. Let's see what we got here. Got a couple of people in the chat sending out their predictions on those games. Wake Forest. I think NC State takes that one. USC, UCLA. Aaron took Notre Dame.
Yes, sir. Guys,
interesting picks in there.
We love your picks, and we also want to remind you that we, again, are live, obviously, on YouTube if you're here with us on YouTube, but we are also on Spotify podcasts. Look up The Booth with Tailor and Brandon on Spotify, and make sure you hit that follow button if you like to listen to us on the go, or maybe you miss an episode. Make sure you follow us on Spotify as well. NFL, baby. So while we wait for Dominique Davis, he is a defensive tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals. He went to University of North Carolina at Pembroke. He is UNCP's first NFL player to make an NFL roster. Made his debut against the Browns last week. So big ups to him. Purdue, anyone? Nah, Purdue can get lost. He originally signed with the New York Jets as a free agent in 2020, and he played in the USFL where he recorded with the Gamblers, where he recorded 57 tackles, including 3.5 sacks, and made his debut with the Browns, 2 tackles. So we're glad to have Dominique Davis on whenever he gets in here. Definitely will appreciate it. Someone said, "Go Browns." He said he's looking for it now. What's going on?
Yo, what's going on? How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing today?
Good, man. Actually, really just got back in the crib, so.
Gotcha.
The interview start.
Whenever you're ready, man.
Oh, bet. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm about to put these keys down.
I got you, man.
All right, there we go. I think I got the audio fixed here.
Yeah, you sound a lot better, Taylor.
All right. All right, how about those Eagles, Brandon? 8-0.
8-0, man. I'll take it. Fly Eagles fly.
Be honest. Were you a little bit nervous last night? I know it was a little bit of a close game, closer than you probably were hoping it would be.
Yeah. A little closer. We won by 12, but I was worried about Damian Pearson, man. He put up 130 yards on us, so that was a short week.
Oh, I started him last night. There was no chance I wasn't. That dude is an animal.
Yeah.
I'm glad I started him. Yeah. Almost went through with that trade for Miles Sanders, but I decided to that trade got canceled. So I know Miles Sanders put up a little more points, but I'm glad I went with Pierce. He put up quite a few points for me. Let's see.
Flag was fly. He's on fire. I was nervous. It was a fun game. Definitely a fun game last night to watch.
It was not as close as the score said. I agree. I think the Eagles did dominate that game. I think the only reason why that team was close in that game was because of Pierce, 100%.
Yeah, if they didn't have Pierce, and I think that it would pretty much have already, it's the NFL, so it's any given Sunday, but.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Devonta Smith said he doesn't care about my fantasy football points. It broke my heart a little. She's taking that personal. Let's see, dog pound. Eagles are surprisingly good this season. Agreed. I don't think anybody really thought they were going to be the only undefeated team, that's for sure. He's on fire. He's nervous.
Yeah, hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Already go.
How you doing? You just get off practice or something, man?
Yeah, man. I had meetings and stuff.
Oh, I got you, man. How's it feel, man?
Man, it's a dream, man. It's supposed to be happen, so.
Yes, sir. I mean, listen, I graduated. I think we went to UNCP at the same time. I graduated in 2018. So I think you got there in 2000. I think you got there in 2017, right?
Yeah.
You transferred from Shaw. Yeah, man. That's it. So when I saw, I was like, UNCP player in the NFL. That's big ups, man. Have you had I guess the first question would be: have you had that like, I'm in the NFL, like this is real moment yet?
I think I kind of did like the Brown game a little bit at the beginning. I was like, dang, like seeing everybody, like all the fans, and just seeing like the intro, how everybody was coming out. I was like, dang, like Nick Chubb and seeing Jadeveon Clowney and stuff down. Like, okay, that's when it kind of hit. But then and that's when I snapped back. Like, all right,
yeah. Hey, it's game on, man. You can only get starstruck for so long, and then it's like time to lay the wood on them. So
yeah, exactly what it is. Yeah, man.
Are you liking it up in Ohio right now? Are you from originally from Laurinburg?
You said I'm originally from Laurinburg?
No, I said you liking it up in Ohio now.
Oh yeah, man. It's nice, man. I'm still a country boy, but
yeah, you don't have to lie. Yeah. You don't have to lie. We've all been to Ohio before.
Yeah, we've been to Ohio. We understand.
It's nice, man. It's a good little city. It reminds me a little bit of Charlotte, a little bit. But I'm a country boy at heart, man.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. So, yeah. I mean, you've been on the team for a bit now. Is there anyone on the team that you've kind of like grown closest to, that you're like, as far as friendships go or anything like that?
Oh man, the guys I actually worked out with, Raymond Johnson and T. Spells, I came in with them, so I played with T. Gray and the USFL, so we automatically had a bond there. So him and then me and Ray, he's from South Carolina. And, he's not that far away from North Carolina, so we automatically became closer. So, really, them guys, man, just been with them, man. And we actually live together, too, so.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
That's going to make the process so much easier. And, like, as soon as you join the team, there's already people there that you're already acquainted with, and you guys have that bond already established. Yeah,
it helps out a lot, man. Also, some of the vets, like DJ Reader, BJ Hill, they're from North Carolina, too, so. They automatically like kind of drew towards me and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's definitely comforting having people that you know around the organization. Someone asked, "Have you tried Skyline Chili yet?"
Oh yeah, I tried it before. Yeah, I tried it like 2-3 times. It was nice. It was good. I mean, back at home, you know, it's just like a chili and cheese dog. So here it's like a bunch of shredded cheese and stuff.
Skyline chili's mid, bro. You can say it, bro. Ain't no one gonna
100%.
crucify you for it. Ain't no one gonna crucify you for saying Skyline mid, bro.
Look, hold on. He's out in Ohio, man. He's got to play it safe. Look, look, people in Ohio, they take that Skyline chili to heart. Like they're passionate about it.
As a religion over there.
They really do, man. So,
I mean, that's like cookout with North Carolina.
Great. Yeah, man, I miss it. I can't wait to come in on the bye week and get a little taste of cookout.
Yeah. I'll take cookout all day, every day over Skyline.
Yeah, cookout is definitely top tier, especially in Bojangles as well. So, I mean, this is a pretty common question. You play defensive tackle. You play defense, man. You play angry. You play physical. What's the one quarterback in the NFL that you want to get your hands on?
Oh, Brady, of course. Brady. Gotta say Brady. When I do that, that's gonna be a picture on the wall. You know what I'm saying?
That's an NFL moment, man. Like, kid from Laurinburg tackling Tom Brady, growing up watching him win all the Super Bowls. That is definitely like, man, I made it. That's Tom freaking Brady.
Definitely. That's when they hit me down.
Yeah. So. So how you say you're liking Ohio decently? It's not North Carolina, man. You're playing the Panthers this week, man. That's the Carolina Panthers home team. Who was your favorite team growing up? Like, was it the Panthers?
Nah, I was more likely like a Giants fan growing up, like Justin Tucker. That's how I was in my household.
Man, a Giants fan. Let me show you something on my wall here. Look at that.
Oh, man.
Look at that, man.
I like Timmy Jernigan when he was there. So.
Yeah. I mean, Jernigan was a nasty player too, man. He was a big old DT. Like yourself.
Yeah, better player.
You got any hobby? I mean, we don't want to just talk about football, like, you know, the entire questions, obviously, we have while we have you. You got any other hobbies? You play video games? You know, what you got?
Yeah, man, I'm on the game, man. When I get down at the facility, like, you know, we in there from 6 to 5, 6 to 6. So I come on and play the game for the rest of the day. Then I might hang it up for a little bit, watch film. But definitely the game, man. That's my getaway.
Do you play Call of Duty? What do you prefer to play?
Call of Duty. I ain't got the new one yet, but Call of Duty and 2K. No, I ain't 2 games right now.
You gotta get the new COD,
Call of Duty and 2K. Yeah, the new COD, it's good.
It's definitely.
I'm scared, man. They say it's not that good, so I ain't got it yet.
Nah,
everybody that says it's not good, man, I don't understand where it's coming from. That new COD is fun. I think it's a little bit more fast-paced than the older CODs, in my personal opinion. I think it's really enjoyable. The graphics are great. I don't see where all the hate's coming from for that game, personally.
Yeah, I think that. You know, you play Warzone. I'm assuming you say you play COD. You know how you got all the bunny hoppers and side cancelers. They kind of got rid of that mechanic, so a lot of like the pros and stuff, they're not really liking it because it's basically playing like an old COD where you can't sit there and it's all matters who hits their shot. So it's kind of like different.
Makes sense why a lot of people not liking it.
Yeah. Someone asked, "What's your favorite technique? The swim technique or a bull rush?"
Oh, bull rush, of course. Bull rush.
Yeah. Oh man, like a violent.
Yeah, bull rush, man. Bull rush. My favorite move is the chop first, because when you get close to an O-lineman, they're gonna automatically put their hands up. So knock their hands down and then convert to a bull rush. That's a pretty good move.
So, how does it feel to be the first player to come from UNCP and actually make it to the NFL? I know there was a couple of players who had some tryouts and they were invited to camps, but you are the first one to make it to the NFL, get a contract, and actually start. I mean, how does that feel? Like, is it like overwhelming, or are you just taking it in strides? How is that?
Man, honestly, man, like anybody who really knew me, like, you know, who played with me, worked out with me, they knew this kind of band should happen because I signed with the Jets first. You know, I signed with them in after my senior year. I just had a bunch of injuries that I was dealing with from college. So I was trying to play through that even in the NFL, but they're very like they don't really play that. So it was kind of hard. So when they released me, I told my agent that I just wanted to heal up and get back to 100% close as possible. So I basically took a year off. I did that. People were like thinking I was done with football, but the whole time I really was just healing and training, just getting ready. I already knew what I was gonna do. So just so happened, teams were. I had a lot of interest. I was in contact with a lot of teams, so they really was just saying like, I need a film. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Do something to get filmed. So I went to the USFL and to put on some great film. I felt like
you dominated, man. Dominated.
Great film's an understatement.
Great film's an understatement.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
that's what I have to do, man.
And that's gotta be big time too. I mean, you have the talent. Personally, obviously, you know yourself. Even coming from like a Division II school and UNCP, and then going to UCFL, a lot of those guys were D1 FPS players. When was that moment when the UCFL where you're like, dude, I'm the man. Ain't no one here. I don't care what level of college they went to. Is Dominique Davis time? Like, did you have that moment where it clicked, or you just dominate from day one? It was like, this is too easy.
Man, I'm just me, man. I'm just humble, man. I don't think I'm better than nobody. So like, I always feel like it's something to work on. So I ain't never really had that like attitude where I can say I'm the man or anything. I'm just gonna keep working and like I had a good coach. Ty Warren was my defensive line coach, 12 years in the NFL. Got like 2-3 Super Bowls. So I was like a real big impact. Coming to Pembroke, it was kind of hard being coach because I had like 2 or 3 defensive line coaches since I was there. So I was going off potential. But having somebody that's actually been there and see something in you, it really was like him, me trying to live up to his expectations and him telling me slow down, like, man, you good enough, man. It's about you believing in that.
Yeah.
So basically when I started believing in that and performing, creating good habits, watching film, putting in the extra work, I've been doing that since I was in high school, so everything I've been doing since high school. So I just kept doing it at the bigger stage, and it helped, man. Helped get where I'm at today.
Look where you at now, man.
Yeah.
Is there anything from like when you were playing in high school that you've carried on to the NFL as far as like game day routines? Like it's something you have to do from whether it be like right in the morning up until right before game time. Like, is there anything you have?
Definitely like film, man. Like I gotta have a certain point where before the game. So probably like we got a game on Sunday, so I like to work hard throughout that week and then have a day where I can relax. Take my mind away from the football or wherever like that. And then I say like that day before, or that morning before the game, look at film. Look at the keys and techniques and see what they're gonna do because whatever a team's gonna do, they're gonna do on the game. So not too much gonna change. They're not gonna change that whole identity.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that since high school, and that's really been a big help. That's just like second nature to me doing that.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of young players realize how important film is when it comes to just overall prep of the game. Not to talk crap on Kyler Murray over there with the Cardinals. My man had to put no Call of Duty in his contract. So I'm going to let you speak on that because I don't want you getting in trouble or nothing. I'll gladly speak on it. Oh, man. So I don't know what question I was about to ask. Honestly, like I made that Kyler Murray comment and it just completely slipped my mind. But, oh, man.
I mean, you're playing the Panthers coming up this upcoming weekend. I know you can't give away too much here, but what is your personal game plan going into that game? Like, how are you planning to like dominate and show off and let everybody know you are that guy?
Man, just every rep I get, first coming on, they're gonna, you're gonna have a limited amount of reps. That's just anybody, any rookie, any newcomer to any team. So I just wanna. I'm not gonna be playing like 50, 40, snaps. So I know I'm gonna go in there and get a specific amount. So I want to dominate and make a limited amount of mistakes as possible. Mistakes gonna happen in football, especially in the NFL. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose some regardless. These are like the best athletes, best players in the world. So I just want to go in there and have high effort. I know what I'm doing. I know the keys. I went through them without. I know my opponent. I went through it the whole week watching film on them. So just being prepared to make the game a whole lot easier. Just what he's gonna do. You know what to expect. So that I just want to go out there and dominate, man, in every way. Just look out. When people look at film, like, oh, who is that? Who's 72?
Yeah,
like he's active. That's the number one thing for high effort.
Yeah. So I remember my question now. Sorry, man.
No, you good.
So everyone has that player that they watched, whether it was in high school, college, and so forth, as far as they try to model their game, or maybe they try to take a couple of their moves. Who was that player for you that you watched growing up that you're like, I kind of want to be like him?
I can't really say it's a single player because I watch everybody's game. I'm only 6'3". I ain't 6'5", so I ain't watching JJ Watt all the time. Like I ain't gonna be able to do all of that like he does. But I would definitely say even old school players. I watch Aaron Donald, of course. Gotta watch him.
Yeah.
He's like I see him in person. He's like 6 foot 5'11" and the best defensive player in the game to me. My personal opinion. But
same.
Him and man, recently, man, like Jeffrey Simmons. I feel like I can, like his game and my game, just dominant, just overly powerful. Just everybody can't be a technician. I mean, I can have that to my game, but I got the power to be overly dominant. So in these upcoming years, God bless me in my career. Like that's what type of player I want to be. Like my name around. So definitely, really them two right now.
Yeah, you want to be that kind of player where everyone knows the offensive lineman pancake, but you as a defensive tackle, you want to be pancaking that center and pushing them all the way back into that quarterback and be like, man, that man's strong. You want that tenacity about you when people are looking at your film. So if you found you can go ahead.
There's somebody in chat that was asking, do you have any like superstitions or anything on game days or anything?
Nah, I don't really have any superstitions, man. I just make sure I always have to have a point where I relax and not think about football.
Yeah.
Because it can get to a point, and I've seen it with other players where they're overly nervous or just thinking too much about the game, and they never back away and just not think about it. They breathe, because you got to think about it. You're doing the 25-8, you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I have to do. Just step away and not think about it. I might play a game for a certain amount of time, or just go out somewhere and just relax and go eat. So that would be one thing I have to do always.
Gotcha.
So you definitely need to step away from the game as well, because even if you've been doing it your whole life, you dominated in high school, you dominated in college, UCFL, NFL. You don't need to overly think about it. It's just on a larger scale in the NFL. Take a step back, play some video games, chill out with some friends and whatnot, and it's definitely probably good to unwind, because being stressed out all the time, that's not good for your health. But it's not good to get them butterflies on game day. I mean, you got it out tackling Nick Chubb and company against the Browns. So coming up against Carolina, my man, I'm ready to see your name. I'm ready to see Dominique Davis sack.
I got some, man. I'm gonna put that work in, man. We're gonna see what's gonna happen, man.
And that's a locally televised game too, so that's definitely going to be up on the TV this weekend for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be especially cool. probably from your family and stuff too, and everyone back in Laurinburg seeing somebody from Scotland High School up on the TV. I know you guys had. I think you guys had Zamir White go through your high school, went to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
But just seeing another small town kid up on that TV, man, you got probably a lot of young kids out there like, man, I want to be like Dominique when I grow up. And that's probably,
Yeah.
that's got to be definitely like heartwarming for you. Like, man, I got people looking up to me.
Yeah.
So,
It is, man. I never imagined that I'd be in this place. Cause, man, I was going through my DMs and stuff, especially now, like, just seeing, people and kids I don't even know, like,
yeah,
across the world, hey, man, you motivate me, just all like paragraphs. And it's just amazing, man. It's a blessing for real.
definitely, man. And, you know, God's put you in that spot. You put in that work, and you are where you are today, man. That's definitely a blessing. I mean, you
Yeah,
live your life.
overcoming the injuries and working hard and getting back into it, and setting your mind right and focusing on what you need to do to get back, and staying humble throughout the whole process is, I look up to that, because that's hard for people to do, to stay humble whenever they are able to accomplish stuff like this and being able to put their mind to it. So I look up to that also, just like everybody else does.
Yeah.
Shit, man. It's not easy, man. Not easy at all.
Nah,
Not
definitely
easy.
not. So, I mean, here's a random question: who's the funniest person on the team you so far? Who got the jokes? Who got the jokes?
uh, oh, man. Funniest, man, I ain't gonna lie, our locker room was pretty funny, man. It has to be BJ Hill. BJ Hill. He always got something to say to me or bother me with every day. And at practice in the morning, it'd be 5, 6 in the morning, and you just hear BJ loud as ever. Everybody tired, but he full of energy. He just got something to say. So it'd be BJ, man. He always keep me laughing, man. Always checking on me. So definitely BJ Hill, man.
Okay. Next question, because everyone knows your quarterback, Joey B, Mr. LSU. Could you beat him in a foot race? You think you beating him in a foot race?
I don't know, man. I'm pretty fast. Faster than people think. I don't know.
I think you ran a 4.8, right?
Yeah. I don't know, man. He pretty. He's still a QB, man. He lighter, so I don't know. We have to see. I might ask him.
Hey man, I'm not a betting man, but I'll put 20 on you, bro. I got you.
All right,
I'll double down on that too.
Gotta show some
bet,
faith, man.
bet. I appreciate it. I'm gonna ask him, man.
Tells me all the time, bro. Everyone's
Yeah,
saying
I'm just going through to see if there's any questions in here.
Everyone's saying they love how humble you are, and that's definitely a trait that like we were saying earlier, man, is you've made it to the NFL, but like to have that, like, just because I'm here doesn't mean the NFL stands for not for long if you're not putting in the work. And just to have that humbleness about you, man, that's something great, because you could, look at Laurinburg and go, you know what, guys, I made it. Like, where are you guys at? I'm here. But you're not that. You're like, you know what, I'm going to put on for my city. I'm going to put on for my town, for my school. And, it seems like you realize that football is bigger than you. Because when you go out there every Sunday, even Saturday at UNCP when you played for the USFL, I mean, people will go, that's Dominique Davis. Where is he from? Oh, he's from Laurinburg. And they're like, where's Laurinburg at? And now those kids are going to get more looks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know where Laurinburg's at because I went to UNCP. That was right down the road. But, like, there's not a lot of people who know where Laurinburg, North Carolina is, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. I get that question a lot, man. Just sort of put on, man. So people, I wasn't that person that got drafted, first, second, third.
Yeah.
I try to tell them like it's still a way. That's the glamorous life. That it might be a not so easy road you got to take sometimes. If you wanted that bad, and it's just me. I didn't see nothing else in life working out for me, so I wanted it that bad. I wanted to play ball at the highest level, not for the money, not for anything else, just because I loved it that much, man. I got a real true passion for it, so that's what drove me, man.
So, out of your roommates, who's the best 2K player, man?
Oh, me. Oh, me. Yeah, me.
You
Oh,
knew that.
they
You knew
good,
that was going
man.
to be the answer.
Yeah, me. What?
My
No.
man said I was not about to let them think they're better than me at
No.
2K
Yeah.
now.
Nah, they Madden players. I'm a 2K player. I got that on lock.
Madden. That's
Yeah, I'm terrible at Madden. I'll take 2K all day. I can actually function in 2K, but Madden, I get smoked every single time I'm on there.
bro. I can't play
Nah,
2K.
me
Well, I
too.
can, but I have to play my player because when I go to the park, oh bro, you don't want me on your team, man.
Oh,
You don't want me
man,
on your
look,
team.
look, if you're not good at 2K, just create like a center, and I'm telling you, you'll be able to play. You'll have fun. I can't be a point guard. Like anytime I've tried to create like a point guard player, I'm terrible, man. I airball everything, or I just can't green a shot. But I create a center and I'm balling out.
I get in the lab, man. I've been playing since what 14. Yeah, I play Park all that, man. I'm a 2K fanatic. I ain't gonna lie.
What position your player play?
Man, I really got too many. So I probably got every position, man. That's how much I played. My favorite game.
Someone asked, who's the best COD player in your apartment?
I would say me, but I haven't been on recently. I've been on 2K, but it'll be my homie T Gray. T Gray still he plays it more than I do. T Gray will.
I'd keep that whisper, man. He hears that, he gonna be bragging at
Yeah,
practice.
yeah. I'm glad he ain't here. I'm glad he's not here.
Yeah. He gonna be like, you hear what Dominique said? He's like, y'all getting dusted in some Warzone, bro.
Nah, I can't give him next with it. He ain't gonna hear this.
He gonna put a backpack in your locker, bro, and be like, this is for me carrying you in some Warzone.
Nah, he swear he do, man. I try to tell him, man. I just ain't been on in a while.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Who has the highest KD? It'd probably be the same answer.
Yeah. You miss Papa Bills, man?
Yeah. I can't wait. I'm gonna come down for the I think the last game Cumberland's playing. I'm gonna go down there and give me something to eat, man. That's really what I can't wait to go home on
That
the bye
food.
week and go eat, man. I ain't really been eating too much up here. When I go home to eat.
They
It's
got
because
you
you're
on
up there in
shit, bro.
Ohio.
Yes. You got
Nothing to
Skyline
eat
Chili,
up there,
man. My man starving up there. Someone feed this man.
Nah, gotta get so bad. Cook out bad and craving it.
Yeah, I bet. That's like I'm originally from California, so like anytime I can go out and get In-N-Out. I don't know if you've ever had In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, I went there the first time with the Cali. That's the first place I went.
You
I
got to,
had
man.
to.
Got to.
Yeah,
You get it animal style.
fat burger.
Yeah. So, have you explored Cincinnati yet, man? Have you got to kind of walk around and?
Yeah, during training camp, man, we was downtown. I just really went to the hockey game. You know, with the D-line went down there, Cincinnati. What's it called? Hurricanes. So yeah, we was down there, man. It was lit, man. My first hockey game. I ain't gonna lie. It was better than I thought it was gonna be. Like I liked it a lot, man. I'm definitely gonna go back.
Yeah, I definitely. I've never been to a hockey game. It's probably because I suck at ice skating. So like growing up, I was just like, yeah, I can't do that, bro. Like I go with my wife like to just kind of like a date night or whatever, and every time I'm always busting my face on the ice, and she's like, "What are you doing?" So she's pretty good at it. So she's skating circles around me, and I'm sitting there like, trying to block blades, trying to slice my neck off, like just falling. She's making fun of me. People are just all laughing at me. So I was like, definitely got to hit a hockey game up though.
Yeah,
We gonna see you on the ice, man?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. On the ice. I ain't even gonna do that to myself, man. If I can't do it, I ain't even gonna try, man.
Yeah, late
I'll
career
learn one
change.
day though. Yeah, late. Yeah, I can't do it right now.
Have you ever been to Insomnia Cookies in Cincinnati?
I've been to the one in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah,
Is there one out in North Carolina? I thought that was a Cincinnati thing.
It's in Charlotte. In Charlotte,
Gotcha.
that's what I tried.
I was about to say Insomnia Cookies about the only good thing coming out of Cincinnati food wise, but never mind. I tried to give them one.
They got a couple of places, man. They got a real good place called Chef and Them. It's very good. It's expensive, but it is very good though.
My wife commented, "You look like a little girl out there ice skating."
No, she said you literally took out a little girl ice skating, so now she's calling you out for dropping little kids out there.
Hey,
so now you're on full blast right now, man.
Hey, I don't play D tackle, but get me on the ice, bro. You know, it's going down.
Oh no, okay. Nah, okay. I'm gonna try it one day, man. Try.
Yeah, you won't see me on the ice. Nope.
Nah.
I'll be injuring myself and others around me.
That's how I feel. It's for everybody.
Somebody wants to know: have you ever had La Rosa's Pizza out there in Ohio?
I never heard of that actually. Yeah.
So I've had it once or twice. I'm not sure what the best style of pizza to get, but the one that I got was like a chicken bacon ranch style pizza, and it was pretty decent. I would take that over like Domino's or anything like that. I'm sure they have better styles of pizza that you can get in different flavors, but I think I've seen that comment in here about 3 times now, so it might be worth checking out.
Okay, La Rosa's. I'm gonna definitely check that out, man. And so I need some pizza anyway. I might order that tonight.
There you go.
There you go. My man got himself some dinner.
Yep.
Dinner recommendations.
Appreciate it.
What's your favorite meal? I mean, you mentioned pizza, but what's your like go-to meal if you're like, man, that's like home cooked?
Home cooked?
Yeah.
Oh, my mom made these like shrimp nachos and stuff like that. Like it's real good. So I like that. And what's another one? She made this real good spaghetti. So I can't wait to go home. I already told her to make it when I get home. So yeah, so I can't wait to bring that back to Cincinnati.
My man, every time he said, I'm ready to go home, it's about food. My man
look,
Cincinnati,
man.
I miss it, man.
That's how we know you play D tackle, man. This man like to eat on the field and off the field.
So, man, gotta feed the beast, man. Gotta feed the beast again.
Shrimp nachos sound bomb. It's coming from the chat here. Somebody is intrigued by that. I'm not a big seafood guy, but I've never heard of shrimp nachos. That does sound intriguing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. It's not too many of them, but it's like meat, cheese, and like sometimes she might put Doritos and stuff like that, or regular tortilla chips. But it's good, man. I ain't gonna lie. I love it. I can't wait to go home and eat it. Can't wait.
Someone said, just pretend that PJ Walker is holding your dinner this upcoming game.
Holding my dinner?
Yeah, holding your dinner. So you get going after the quarterback PJ Walker, and he's holding your mom's shrimp nachos, and you just want to eat.
Might have to do that, man. PJ Walker might not want to play this upcoming week.
Someone tell TJ or PJ on Twitter that he might not want to show up. Put Baker in, you know.
Now you put Baker in. I mean, that's going to be at least 5 interceptions right there, man.
Oh man. Oh man. Hey.
I believe it at that though.
Yeah, he's had Papa Bills. He's had Papa Bills. I keep asking, has he had Papa Bills, Pembroke? Yeah, he's had Papa Bills.
Yeah, I ate that. Yeah, majority of the time I was in school, man.
Yeah.
Got to. Some of the best food in Pembroke.
Probably is the best food in Pembroke.
Yeah, pretty sure.
I mean, there's not much. We got to go all the way out to Lumberton to go get something good.
Yeah, I used to just go home, man.
You're right down the corner, so.
Yeah, we got this place called Jesse's, so Man, they probably got the best Philly cheesesteak I ever had. So I would go down there and get some Philly cheesesteak fries and 12-piece wings.
My man, making me hungry, man.
I'm about to write this place down.
I've been dreaming about it, man. I need it. I need that.
Got to do weekend plans.
Yeah. So weekend plans. This is after the interview plans. My man already said, I'm about to get some pizza, maybe some wings.
Oh man, I can't wait, man. It'll be a lot, especially when you're using all your energy and stuff in practice.
Yeah.
Gotta refuel, man. Gotta eat.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, I walk down the stairs and I'm hungry, so I can only imagine after a practice on an NFL team. Ooh.
Rest. They can get rest sometimes, but you get used to it.
Yeah. Who's your favorite coach on the team that you've kind of grown close to? That's kind of like the person you go to talk to when you need to talk.
And I would say it's our DN's coach. He's real. He's been. His name is Doug. That's kind of hard, man. Very hobby. I talk to that's my D-line coach, D-tackle coach. So it'll be him. I talk to him all the time. You know, I can talk to him about anything. Yeah, I always pick his brain, man. Like, I come in early every day, like before meetings, and I sit down and we just talk, man. Talk about football, anything. You know, I just always ask him like, who the best players you ever coached?
Yeah.
Like, what were their tendencies? And you know, sometimes we might not talk about football. We just talk about life. You know, so it'll be him, man. Definitely come out.
It's definitely nice to have a coach you can definitely talk about life with, especially when you're away from home, away from your mama and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, having someone you can just kind of take that mentor in. We got people saying we're definitely watching the Bengals Carolina game this weekend and rooting for Dominic. So you got people rooting for you, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Y'all put a little show on, you know.
Get that shrimp nachos, man. You know what I'm saying? PJ Walker did them shrimp nachos.
Try, man. I'm gonna try.
You got a sack celebration just in case?
Everybody been asking me that. So, you know, a lot of things, you know, the things I was doing in the USFL, you can't do in the NFL because you can get fined. So, I don't know, man.
Gotta eat that plate, man. You gotta eat.
I might do that. Yeah, you gave me look.
There you go, man. Thinking about food, you out here eating.
All right, yeah, I might take that one. But I always like to show the tattoos on my elbows because it says "Grand Hard." Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's just me. So when I throw them up, everybody see it.
Throw them up, let them know who you are.
Yeah, man, that's me. It's my little signature.
Someone said they want to see you hit the gritty after a sack. Is that a possibility there?
I ain't gonna lie, I can't do that. I can't look like a fool on TV. I leave that up to the receivers, man. I can't. I don't know, man. That ain't me.
Hey, man, we've already seen your teammate Jamar Chase call out Mike Gesicki of the Dolphins and saying this is the worst gritty he's ever seen.
That was hands down the worst thing I've ever seen.
Did you watch the game, the Eagles and Houston game last night?
No, I didn't even get a chance to watch it.
Oh, man, you didn't see big old Jason Kelsey hitting the gritty on live television, man.
Oh, man. I got to go back and check that out, man. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Big man hitting the gritty with Jalen Hurts. He about 40 years old, too.
Hey, man.
My man Jason Kelsey hitting the gritty. He needs to hit the retirement home, man.
Funny, man. I don't know. I can't do it, me personally, man.
Nah, I can't dance, so I definitely can't do it. So
yeah,
I got 2 left feet. Everyone saw it at my wedding.
Petition for Taylor to hit the gritty. We're gonna go ahead and delete that comment,
right bro.
We're gonna go ahead and delete that comment. That comment did not come through.
Bro.
Nope, not happening.
You gotta do it.
Come on, man.
Can't do that, man. Can't do that one.
Taylor's 6'3", about 300 too. So big man hitting the gritty.
I'll fall through this in I'm on the upper level of this house right now. I do the gritty. I'm falling through into the garage, and it's out.
I think it's worth it, man. I think it's worth it.
Hey, look, the people want it, man.
Yeah, man. Give the people what they want.
Look, if you get a sack this weekend and you hit the gritty, I'll hit the gritty.
See.
Look, if you hit it, I'll hit it.
I might take you on the offer, man. See,
look, if I see you do it, I'll do it, and I'll post it on social media everywhere, so I can get flamed for it left and right for the rest of my life.
All right, cool. I'm gonna tell Trace to teach me.
There you go.
T and them to teach me how to do it when I see them tomorrow. Man.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look at YouTube videos. You're going to get firsthand experience, so I think yours is going to turn out a lot better than mine.
This is about to be the widest. This is about to be the widest gritty ever, bro. This is gonna be the McGriddle, bro. This is like the McDonald's gritty.
Man, I don't know. It can't be worse. The second man. Dude.
Oh, it will be. Trust me.
You think so?
Oh, I promise. Mine will be 10 times worse. I guarantee it.
It's gonna be hilarious, man.
I'm gonna apply for a job in the future, and that's gonna come up in my background check, and they're gonna tell me no.
Oh man,
I'm gonna get denied for that now.
You go viral for so, man. Definitely go viral for that.
It's the power of the gritty, man.
I hope I don't go viral for that. That would be terrible. That'll be the end of my life right there. I'll be done. I'll never go outside again.
Hey, you never know, man. Get a commercial or something. You never know.
Look, nobody wants to pay me to be on a commercial and hit the gritty. I'm telling you.
Hey, man,
they want the business. They put
it.
me up there on that commercial. They're going to be like, I ain't going there, man.
I can see it, man. Hi, I'm Taylor, and with the booth. And try the new McDonald's McGriddle and start hitting the gritty while you're holding it, bro. It can't be as worse as Russell Wilson's Danger Rush sandwich. You know what I'm saying?
I think it would be worse, man. I think it would be.
We asked last week on the show. We had one of our friends on. We were asking him what's like more cringy than Russell Wilson. I know you can't talk on it. We were like cargo shorts, dude. The where's my hug guy. The what was another one? I
don't know. I blocked that segment out of my mind.
But man, that man Russ is man cringy. But hey, man, he's married to Sierra, so he's with an A-list celebrity. We understand he got to hold that certain image that he got over there, but.
It's still Russ though, man. He definitely, he won the ring. So.
Yeah, it's still Russ. That's true. That's 100%.
Still Russ, man.
Still Russ. That's I know you're a humble man, so I'm gonna be happy for you, man. The fact that just think about that small kid is stepping on that field, and you got, like you said, you could tackle Tom Brady, and that's like every kid's dream growing up. Russell Wilson. I mean, we watched Tom Brady win 7 Super Bowls. I know he just lost a ring with his whole stuff, but hurt social life there. But you know what I'm saying? But that's just I ain't no pulling no punches, man. But so I can say it, he can't. So I'm gonna speak for it. So, but just the fact growing up and seeing Tom Brady you play with him on Madden and stuff, and the fact you can sack him now, him, Russell Wilson and stuff. That's big time, man. That's something you should be proud of. Take it with you for the rest of your life.
I mean, December 18th, Bengals play the Buccaneers, so there's the chance this season to see Tom Brady get sacked. So
anything can happen, man.
Hey, look at that smile, man. My man's ready to circle it
hungry
on the calendar.
for it, man. Yeah, circle it on the calendar. Everybody put it on your phone so you get the notification.
Yeah. Definitely got to take it one game at a time, though, and obviously got to focus on this Carolina game. Is there one player that you're kind of – they lost Christian McCaffrey. I know a lot of Panthers fans and everyone back home in Carolina probably upset about that trade. But is there one player you're like you can't wait to hit or just seeing kind of meet in person and kind of interact with?
Honestly, man, Not really, man. Not really. Everybody, I'm just ready to.
Fair
I
enough.
want to go out there and win that game, man. For
That's
sure,
all that
man.
matters, man. Getting dubs. Yeah, unfortunately, your first start didn't, or your first game didn't kind of go how you guys wanted. Probably left a sour taste in your guys' mouth, especially as a defensive tackle. You're kind of hungry to get out there and be nasty and physical again, and I think you guys have a good chance with that Panthers offensive line. PJ's a good quarterback, and he's light on his feet, so I mean you're gonna be running a lot chasing him, but I think you guys are gonna have a good shot to get that sack this week because that offensive line they got some weak points that maybe a bull rush can put them on their butt and get there to that quarterback.
I'm trying. I'm just trying to show something, man. What I can do, man. Go ahead to help the team win.
So hey, man, like you said, it's the NFL any given Sunday, so it don't matter who you playing each week. I mean, like I said, I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm glad we 8-0. But that Houston game definitely, it had me nervous sitting there seeing Damian Pierce put up almost 140 yards on Fletcher Cox and gang. Like, I mean, Javon Hargrave, defensive tackle, three sacks. So I mean, we'll take it.
Second on the state, man. Second on the state.
But that's So I mean, this is kind of. He didn't have, I guess, a long stint with the Jets, but could you compare like the Jets to the Bengals and kind of where your mentality was then and where it is now?
Really, with the Jets from the little time I did have, I mean, a guy that I kind of got accustomed with, like two of them, Stephen McClendon, I'm a big guy on like learning, so I don't care. I'm gonna ask questions. I was taught that early, so that's a lot of things a lot of people share to do. If I would need to know something, I'm gonna ask you. If I want to pick your brain, so it'd be John Franklin. So like, them guys kind of took me under their wings, and when I was there, I started learning from them, getting in the process of learning from them, learning the game and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was kind of like not as much family oriented like it is at the Bengals. So like everybody like it's really like family here, Like everybody is treated equally, and nobody's above nobody, and that's kind of rare. And the NFL, some people might act like they're better than the others just off money and things like that, or inactive, active, practice what like not here. Everybody's sold out to everybody. So I can say that's a big difference here. Like,
That's definitely
they working.
Good to have that family atmosphere where it's not just business every time. Are you guys in Carolina or are you guys playing in Cincy this week?
We're playing in Cincy.
Playing in Cincy. Someone said, is it a home game? We should go get tickets and see him play live. If you guys were in Carolina, I'd probably coming down there. Gotta get your jersey, man. Gotta put that Davis jersey on.
So, shoot, man, Mike might be at the game.
Your brother?
Yeah, I think he gets back tomorrow in town, so he'll be in Cincinnati. So I know he goes to a couple of games every once in a while, so he might be at that one on Sunday. I'll have to ask him if he is or not.
Be pretty cool and be like, hey, make sure you cheering on 72 a little harder.
Yeah, my brother's he's a split fan. He likes the Seattle Seahawks, and he's been living in Cincinnati for about 5 years now, and he's a huge Cincinnati Bengals fan. So he goes out to those games every once in a while when he gets a chance, and he's off work.
So, did you? So you got obviously you signed with the Bengals. Were there any other teams that like when you're looking to make your NFL kind of go back to your NFL journey that maybe reached out that you were pondering before selecting the Bengals?
There's a couple other teams. But the ones that introduced me to the workout was the Bengals and Steelers. Steelers came first. So I think one of their D tackles retired. And my workout was the Bengals already been playing for like a whole month, actually. So, the Bengals that called, not the Bengals, the Steelers that called like the week before my workout was done. Flew out there, I did great. They're good, man. Perform real good, but they end up needing somebody with more experience. So they end up taking that guy. So probably like they called my agent back like 2 days ago. Like that guy, like left a real good impression on us. My agent was like, "Well, I should have got him. You know, he's gonna get a safety." So Steelers had told my agent that they were gonna, I think, try to intercept me or something like that, or gonna need to intercept me because I think another D tackle had gone down, but I don't know really. But those are the two teams, and I worked out for the Bengals for like 5 minutes, and they signed me right after that.
That's good. I mean, hey, if you're looking at the records, they're your rival now. I'm pretty sure you're probably happy to be with the Bengals.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely happy to be here. Man.
Yeah, so someone in the chat said, "Good call on the Bengals. Boo Steelers."
Nah, I love it here, man. I'm glad I came here. Perfect.
Yeah, we're hoping that. Sure, you're hoping that you're there for a long time, putting in that work, and who knows, maybe submitting your name as one of the Bengals' great defensive tackles. Obviously, everyone starts somewhere, and you know, to anyone watching this, you know, Dominique obviously is a very good representation of going from a small school, but you know, we had Jerry Rice and Shannon Sharp. There's our Hall of Fame players that have come from smaller programs that have cemented their names into the future Hall of Fame, and obviously Dominique's trying to be the next Hall of Fame defensive tackle for the Bengals. So definitely going to be something to root for there. And not everyone's journey is different, man. And just remind you that God's got you, then there's no one that can stop you. So you keep putting in that work, and there's no mountain you can't climb. So you're gonna see the mountaintop, man. You just gotta, you know, keep pursuing, keep pushing, and keep bull rushing, man.
So, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for having me on, man. Real.
Thank you.
No problem. Make sure you go eat, man. I know you're hungry.
Yeah, I know I'm a big one, man.
Yes, sir. Make sure you go eat.
What's up? I got y'all.
All right, man. God bless, brother.
Appreciate it.
Say God bless y'all.
All right, guys. That was Dominique Davis, defensive tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals. Real humble guy. Taylor, on the takeaway experience from meeting Dominique.
I thought it was awesome. I mean, he's down to earth, and that's great to see. I mean, you know, a lot of players are, like he said, some people think they're better than others, and it really shows. And I think him being as humble as he is extremely eye-opening that there's still people like that in the NFL. And I enjoyed talking to him. I thought it was a great experience.
Yeah, and we'll go into that Bengals-Carolina game that he will be playing Sunday. Again, if you're looking for him, it's number 72 defensive tackle. So we will be rooting for him. Great kid. He's a man. So great man. He's 20-something years old. So it's like, look, I'm getting to that age where, like, I'm almost 30. So it's like everyone to me that's younger than me is a kid. I'm just used to saying that. But so Carolina has a 28th ranked offense. They score 17 points per game. Who do you got, Carolina, or do you got the Bengals? You going with the
Bengals?
All right, yeah, I think
Bengals. I mean, we cannot have him on the show and then go with anything else. Am I right here?
Yeah, no,
I mean, I think it's kind of, predicted that we're going with the Bengals. There's no way we could pick the Panthers.
Yeah. All right, I'm going. Bengals. That's it. All right, guys. That's that segment of Carolina versus the Bengals. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. So the next thing we're going to talk about, guys, is the trade deadline. Everyone knows that passed. We had Robbie Anderson to the Cardinals, CMC to the Niners, James Robinson to the Jets, Robert Quinn to the Eagles, Kadarius Toney to the Chiefs, Roquan Smith to the Ravens, to name a few. Taylor, who was your biggest surprise, or who is in the biggest position to succeed in their new home?
Kadarius Toney. I think Kadarius Toney is a Tyreek Hill 2.0. I know we talked about it last week, but I think even with the deadline passing, I think that was the biggest trade in my opinion. I think he's going to absolutely shine with Patrick Mahomes throwing to him, and I think that their next game coming up, I think we could see Kadarius Toney getting at least 5 to 10 touches. I mean, I know 10's a pretty high number, but I think 5 to 10 touches, and I think he's going to at least get a TD, and he's going to start exploding. And I think that was probably the best destination for him with his style of play. I mean, Patrick Mahomes already knows how to utilize a player just like him. He already did it with Tyreek Hill. So I think that was the biggest winner of this trade deadline was Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, I think Kadarius Toney with Andy Reid, and again being on that grass field, is going to help his health. I think that's going to be electric. They are going to limit some of his touches. They said they're not going to put a full workload on him yet, just so he can get comfortable with the offense. But I think Kadarius Toney, we're going to see some flashy plays this Sunday. I think a big name for me, funny trade was Calvin Ridley, because the game that he got suspended for was he was betting against the Jaguars, and he got traded to the Jaguars, so it's kind of coincidental. But T.J. Hawkinson to the Vikings, I think, getting out of Detroit and going to Minnesota, I think that's a big time to get. They already have, Jay Jetta and Adam Thielen, who's so-so, and they have Irv Smith. Irv Smith went down with injury, but they also have Dalvin Cook. I think that's a pretty solid team, and add in T.J. at tight end, that just makes them even more legit. Obviously, everyone wants to talk about the CMC to the 49ers. I think you got firsthand. Look at that, unfortunately. So, being a Rams fan,
man, come on. Look, I'm still wearing the stuff loud and proud underneath, Super Bowl champs. We got destroyed. I can't add anything more to that. I mean, CMC threw the ball, ran the ball, and caught the ball. CMC was absolutely dynamic in that game against the Rams. So I would agree that might be the biggest trade that was made this year, because it was an instant impact on his second game playing. So
yeah,
I agree on that.
Definitely. We will agree there. So we'll go on from the trade deadline. We did extend past the normal time, guys, and we try to keep about an hour, but we had a great interview with Dominique, so we're not going to try to rush through it, but we are going to try to not keep your guys here for 10 years. So we're going to go into the QBs in trouble. There's a couple names that we've talked about off the show that we kind of wanted to talk about. Derek Carr, Zach Wilson, Davis Mills, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones. Of those three quarterbacks that I just named, which ones do you think this is their probably last year at starting with either with their team or just starting in general?
I think with the way that the season has already progressed, I think it might be Mac Jones's last season starting with the Patriots. I think they might go with Zappe. I mean, they've already started Zappe while he was injured. They liked what they saw. They benched him for Zappe in his first game back from a high ankle sprain. I know they decided to start Mac Jones on the following game, but it just that inconsistency of who's our quarterback really just makes me think that after this season, if Mac Jones doesn't really pick it up and start developing a little bit more, that it might be his last season starting for the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, I think Zach Wilson's out of the Jets after the season. I think this is, especially if they can get their hands on a C.J. Stroud or a Bryce Young kind of player. I think if you draft Will Levis, you're getting the exact same player as Zach Wilson, a average athletic quarterback that can get on the move, but it's going to throw a million interceptions. So if they get their hands on Stroud, or they can get their hands on Bryce Young or Hendon Hooker, I think the Jets move on. Justin Fields has played pretty well the past 2 games, even though he doesn't have a lot of talent around him. He's got Mooney as his number 1 receiver. They just got Chase Claypool. I think you hold on to Justin Fields and try to just see what you have in him. But my biggest thing is I think Derek Carr, this is last year starting, at least for the Raiders. I think he moves on. Because how do you have Hunter Renfrow and Devontae Adams and Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs and still suck? I mean, he's got a 58.9 QBR. He's 1,600 yards, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I mean, that's a Madden team, and he is playing like Dookie. So
yeah, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
I think I 100% agree that I cannot be confident in saying that it will be his last season starting for the Raiders because I think they should have moved on a couple of years ago. He's been a average at best quarterback. He hasn't done anything for that franchise. I mean, there's been no playoff run that's been worthwhile talking about. There's been no Super Bowl contending team that he's been a part of. I just don't see him being the future quarterback for the Raiders, but it is the Raiders, and for whatever reason, I feel like Derek Carr just has something on somebody in that franchise, and they're just not going to let him go.
Someone said it's Josh McDaniels. No, I agree. I think that Derek Carr's time, I think he needs a fresh start, which you don't normally say when a quarterback just gets the number one wide receiver in football. But I just don't see. Maybe Cardinals and Raiders make a trade. Kyler needs a fresh start. Derek needs a fresh start.
Could you imagine Kyler Murray with Renfro, Darren Waller, and Adams? I mean, oof.
I mean, he's already got D-Hop and company there, but
true. D-Hop's been injured though and suspended, and so we haven't seen the full potential of that duo there.
Someone said Josh McDaniels. So, well, fighting for spots. We've just got done talking about the quarterbacks fighting for spots. Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott, man. There's been a lot of talk in the sports world the past week and a half, saying that some people are saying Zeke is better than Tony Pollard, and some are saying Tony Pollard's better than Zeke. Who do you got? If you're the Cowboys GM, who do you think you should start?
I think Tony Pollard. I think Zeke's peaked like 2 years ago. His offensive line that he had during that time is now gone. So he doesn't have the opportunities that he once did. I think Tony Pollard's a little bit quicker. I think he's able to find the hole a little bit easier. Zeke is not a terrible running back. I'm not going to say he's trash or anything like that. He's still a serviceable running back capable of busting out a 20-yard run every once in a while.
He's averaging 4 yards. So
yeah. So I mean, yeah. So I would say Pollard. I think he's the guy you go with heading forward. But I think Zeke is still going to carry a lot of weight in a trade. So next season, I'm not sure what his contract looks like. I'm not sure if he's a free agent this offseason or not. But if he isn't and they decide to trade him, I think they'll actually be able to get something decent in return for him because he still is serviceable, and there's some teams out there that need a running back.
I agree. Jerry Jones just came out saying that Zeke is their starter and that he's better than Pollard. Zeke has 109 carries on the year. Pollard has 81, but Pollard has 506 yards to Ezekiel Elliott's 443. So even though Zeke's got more yards, Pollard's got more carries. Yep. Pollard's got more yards and touchdowns and average per yard. But I think the big issue people have talked about from the Pollard camp is that he can't handle more than 30 plays a game as far as his workload. He gets tired too easy. That's just what I've been hearing. So Zeke, they're saying that's why Zeke is getting the bulk of the plays. But I think that the only reason why Tony can't handle the 30-plus plays is because he's not playing as much. So he's not in that 30 to 40 play a game shape, but I think he could easily get into that being an NFL player. So I would go with Pollard. I think he's more explosive. I think he sees the holes better than Ezekiel Elliott, and I think Elliott definitely – he's still good, but he definitely benefited from that Hall of Fame offensive line that they had in like the mid-2000s a couple years ago. All right, and our next topic, we're going to do the MVP race, and then we'll go into the games, and that will be the show. So who's your MVP candidate right now? We'll make it short.
I'm going Jalen Hurts.
All right, I'm going Jalen Hurts as well. I think that.
Okay, I'll switch my answer up. I'm going Josh Allen.
All right, I'm going Derek Carr. Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Jalen, not just being a homer as an Eagles fan, but 8-0 is impressive. And his turnaround, he went from 55 completion percentage in his first year. His second year, he went to 61%, and this year he's at 66%, with the league average being at 64%. So he's a little better than league average, but he's been playing and balling out. So I think it's going to be Jalen. You don't want to agree, but because to split it, but we
I
both
mean,
got it.
I agree, but I don't because I want to be right. But I think Jalen Hurts has definitely shown huge improvement, and he's like wildly important to that team's success this year. I know it's like an all-around improvement from everyone, but I think he's the head of the table on that one as to why everybody else is playing so good. Is because he really did a 360, and he's a whole new player this year.
Someone said Nick Chubb. It's just a quarterback award. I'm sorry.
That's that's Alfredo. He's a huge Browns fan, so I can't imagine he would say anybody that's not on the Browns team.
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, yeah, right.
All right. Let's get into these games then. We have a bet, guys. If you don't know, we have a running bet at the end of the season. Whoever picks the least amount of games right has to buy their college team rival gear and wear it on an episode. So with him, that'd be Texas. For me, it's Georgia. So that's the bet right now. Who's in the lead before we get into these games?
Brandon.
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Brandon.
Okay, I heard you the first time. I just wanted to hear it again. All right. Are you ready?
No. Yeah, go for it.
All right. Chargers versus the Falcons.
I'm going Chargers.
All right. I'm going Falcons. I'll take the split.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to go Falcons.
Okay.
Dolphins, Bears.
I'm going Dolphins.
I'm going Dolphins as well. We both picked the Bengals, so you can put that in there. We have the Packers versus the Lions.
That's a tough one because they both suck this year. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Packers. I think they, even though they've been sucking a lot, I think they still have an edge over the Lions.
All right. I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think they get their second win. I think that
it would be fitting to get it against Aaron Rodgers this year.
It'd be great. Then we have the Raiders versus the Jaguars.
I've got the Jaguars.
All right, that's a bad game. Who the heck wants to watch that? Just give them bye weeks and call it a day.
Raider Nation runs deep, man.
Yeah, deep into the crack house. I'm gonna go Jags, I guess. We have the Colts versus the Patriots.
Colts, you know my deal with that.
I'm going to go Colts as well. I just don't believe in Mac Jones and the Patriots this year.
My man was given one more warning.
My dad, I'll kick you out the house if you don't pick the Colts. Then we got the Bills versus the Jets.
I got Bills.
All right, I'm going Bills as well. I think the Jets have been exposed. The Vikings versus the Commanders.
Vikings.
I'm going.
They just got a nasty tight end. Come on now.
Going Vikings as well. Then we have the Seahawks versus the Cardinals.
I'm gonna go Seahawks. They're playing some really good football, and they're proving me wrong from the beginning of this year.
I'm gonna go Seahawks as well. I think Geno Smith is in the MVP race. Whether people want to believe it or not, I don't know if he'll win it, but he definitely should be a consideration.
Yep.
Then we have the Rams versus the Buccaneers.
Rams.
All right.
No bias.
No bias. Just I'm gonna go Rams as well. I think Tom Brady and the Bucs have struggled this year. Then we have the Titans versus the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yes, sir. I'm also gonna go with the Chiefs. Then we have the Ravens versus the Saints.
Ravens.
I think Roquan Smith and the Ravens will pretty much win this game, which is good for the Eagles because the Eagles hold the Saints' first round pick. So the more the Vikings lose, the more I win. So
yeah.
All right, guys. So that is all the games. Thank you guys for coming out. Again, this is The Booth with Taylor and Brandon. Follow us on Spotify, and if you haven't already, hit the subscription button. Put the bell notification on. We go live every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time And hopefully we can get some more cool guests on. We'd like to say thank you to Dominique Davis of the Bengals, and thank you for your time. It was great getting to know you, and we're all rooting for you. Taylor, any last words? I'm not killing you, but any last words?
Any last words before you go night night? I think it was awesome of him to agree to come on the show. Just want to give him big thanks. I hope everybody that watched and everybody that does watch this after we go off the air, I hope everybody enjoys it. And everybody's able to get a nice little sneak peek of what it's like to be an NFL player and what comes with it. And I think it was extremely awesome that he agreed to do that.
Yeah. So, again, thank you, Dominique. And go Bengals this week. Thank you guys for coming in the show. 5 viewers for holding it down. And, again, if maybe you're working out, maybe if you're like, oh, man, I can't find it on YouTube. By the way, guys, it is not under the video section on YouTube. It's under the live section. So don't go to videos. Go to our YouTube and click live. That's where all our previous videos are at. So I've had a couple people reach out saying they're confused. They don't see anything. It's under the live tab. If you want to take us on the go, make sure, again, you listen to us on Spotify. Every episode is uploaded right after the show is done. So if you're like, oh, maybe I'll watch. I didn't get to watch it live, but I'll listen to it on my way home to work or on my way to work. Make sure you do that. Ask Dominique what charity he wants us to donate to. Well, he's already off the show, so
we can send him a DM.
Yeah. But all right, guys. Thank you guys for watching again, and